Hey guys, hi everybody. Happy Weigh In Sunday. It's Sunday again. Boy, these weeks are flying, aren't they? So, if you're in the channel, if you're on, can you say something? Let me know you can hear me. Say hi to Gizmo. My little puppy is not so little anymore. Growing leaps and bounds. This guy. He's been pretty hyper today, so he's finally calming down. So I thought it'd be a good time to try and do a live. My name is Debbie OMAD. I have been doing OMAD for about a year and a half now. All told, I've lost about 80 pounds. OMAD is one meal a day, eating one meal a day, and fasting for between 23 and 26 hours is what I normally do. Um, hey, Victoria, glad you could make it. Can you hear me okay? My microphone on this computer sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't. So, want to make sure you guys can hear me. Um, So for those of you that are new here, like I said, I've been doing it for about a year and a half, and I've chronicled the entire journey. So check out my channel, Debbie OMAD, and you can watch the whole process literally from the beginning. Um, please like and subscribe. Please. It matters so much to the YouTube algorithm and to me. So please, if you feel I share some good information, please like and subscribe. Hey, Nikki, Timeless LED. It's Nikki. That's my sister. And she's out in Colorado and I'm in Nevada. So we don't get to see each other, but we talk. And we'll be talking about her a little bit more in a few minutes. So if you're on, please like and subscribe. Okay, so I know you guys hate waiting for my weigh-in, so I'm going to do that right off the top. I got yelled at once for waiting till like the middle to say my weigh-in, so I'm not going to do that anymore. The suspense. Okay, see, this is Gizmo. As you can see, he's much bigger than he used to be. He keeps growing. And I thought he was going to take a nap, but now he's interested in what I'm doing. So last week, as I told you, I went up. I did. I went up because I was a bad girl and I did not stick to OMAD. I didn't eat a lot of food, but I ate more than once a day, a couple of days, and it showed. Yeah, he's getting so big. Yes, he is. He is huge, and he's still growing. My little Pomeranian is going to become a very big Pomeranian. Ah, so this week I stayed exactly the same. Now, I had planned on doing 48-hour fast this weekend. Didn't happen. And it isn't that I'm eating a lot of food. I'm just eating a lot of carbs because that's what we have in the house. Times are tough, guys. Times are real tough over here. So we're buying cheap food, and cheap food is not necessarily healthy food. So although I'm still doing OMAD, I'm eating carbs. And it's more, that's what we have, and that's what we can afford. So that's what I'm eating. But the good news is with eating carbs all week, but still doing OMAD, I didn't gain, but I didn't lose either. So I stayed the same as last week. Um, he's eating my hand. You can't really see him, but he is. Show yourself. Show yourself, little boy. Oh my gosh. Getting so heavy, you guys. He's been so hyper today. Oh man, has he been hyper. He's just running around like a crazy man. Say hi to people. Say hi. Hi, people. I have to keep reminding myself he's still a puppy. He's only like, what is he, 5 months old? Yeah, he's still a puppy. So he still is in the chewing thing, and we have to always say, no bite, Gizmo, no bite. And then he stops and he starts licking. And then he kisses. Oh, I think you love it. He's a good dog. He really is. He's a puppy. When we first got him, we had gotten him a little lamb, a stuffed lamb, and he loved it. And he slept with it and he carried it around with him all the time. Well, yesterday he decided to destroy it. He wanted the squeaker out of it. And oh my gosh, ah, he destroyed it. I mean, there was stuffing everywhere. You name it, I found stuffing. He just tore that thing apart. And he did get the squeaker out, didn't you? Is there a time in your journey you could eat carbs and lose? In all honesty, no. Um, now this is me. This does not mean it's true for everybody, you guys. So I never mean to insinuate that what I'm doing is what everybody has to do and the only thing that can work for you, because it's not true. There are people who can eat carbs and lose. Absolutely. I'm not one of them. In fact, I did not realize just how badly my body handled carbs until I started this journey. Because I found every time I ate carbs, I either stalled, stayed the same, or I gained. Never lost. I never lost. And if you can go back through, like I said, my videos, and I've talked about my carb problem a million times because it is a problem. I love carbs. I do. I love potatoes. I love pasta. I love bread. Um, but every time I have those, even one meal a day, it messes up my journey. It just does. Now, that isn't to say that I haven't had them because obviously I have. And that's part of the reason that I've had plateaus and I've gone up. And uh, Nikki says I'm back on basically no carbs, 15 grams. I'm allowing myself a day. Well, I know on keto, for example, and I'm not going to quote numbers because I'm horrible at it and I don't want to be wrong, but you can have X amount of carbs per day while eating keto. It's a small amount. It's not a lot of carbs, but you can. Now I've done keto in the past before OMAD, and my problem was I couldn't stick to it. Um, I did lose some weight, but then I gained it all back. So at least with this, I've been doing it for a year and a half, and I haven't gained it all back. I'm still down quite a bit. I'm at 143 right now, and I started at 210. So that's quite a difference, you guys, quite a difference. And all my clothes are big and I feel better and I do have a lot more energy than I did when I started this back a year and a half ago. Again, I was 210 pounds. I'm 5'2", so that's a lot of extra weight. Um, Boy, for a dog that I thought was calming down, I guess I was wrong. Can you stop biting me, please? Say hi. Talk to them instead of biting me. Oh, thank you, Victoria. Hey, Eileen, thank you. No makeup today. Hair's not done. Sorry, but my daughter had to go help out a coworker today, so I wasn't able to do Postmates. So I didn't get all ready and stuff. I'm staying home with the dog and the kid today, which is kind of a bummer because I needed to do Postmates this week because we need the money. But friends, you gotta help friends. You gotta help friends, and her friend needed some today, so she went to do that. So she won't be on the video today. She has not been doing OMAD, although she's not eating much. Like I said, we don't have much food in the house, so she's not eating a lot. But she's not trying to do OMAD either. She's moving up in her job. She started she being Janelle, my daughter. If you've watched any of my videos, she was part of this challenge for a little while. She started this job 5 months ago, and she's already been promoted to supervisor, and now they're looking at her for operations manager. So it's really exciting, and the future is looking really bright. We just got to get through this hump, and then we'll be doing good again. It's been tough for everybody, I know, and not just me. I know a lot of us are struggling. In my hours, I've got 3 jobs now, but they're all part time, not counting Postmates. Postmates is I'm not counting that when I say I have 3 jobs. And between the 3 of them, I can't. Last week, I didn't get 20 hours. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy. But wanted to share something with you guys. In the title, I said, and a surprise package. My sister messaged me earlier this week and said that she was sending me something that will help me with my Postmates and in general. And she said it was a game changer, and she wouldn't tell me what it was. She just said she was going to send it to me as a gift. So. And I tried to get her to tell me, of course, but she wouldn't. But she kept saying, it's a game changer. It's a game changer. And I'm like, okay, what is this? And she got my curiosity piqued. Well, she told me that it was supposed to arrive Monday, tomorrow. So, that's what I was expecting. Well, then a package came yesterday, Saturday, or was it Friday, Nikki? Now I don't remember. It could have been Friday. But my daughter got the package from the door, and she was like, Mom, did you order something? We don't have any money to order anything. What are you talking about? No, I didn't order anything. So she brought the box in. Now I had planned on doing an unboxing and being surprised on camera when I came, but it didn't click in my head that it was what Nikki had sent because that it would be her Monday. So I opened it. Anyways, and I was very surprised. I wish I would have done it on camera. So I'm going to share it with you guys. Friday. Yes, it was Friday. I'm going to share it with you guys because she's right. It's awesome. Now, obviously, I didn't show you guys yesterday, but I did use it yesterday when I did Postmates for a little while. And when I do Postmates and I have to deliver to apartments, 9 out of 10 times I can't find the apartment. So I have to walk long distances oftentimes till I finally find the apartment and then walk back to my car. And I used it for that. And let me tell you what, it was 100 and was it 110 yesterday? I think it was. And it definitely made a difference. Now in the car, I have air conditioning on, but walking to try and find apartments, that's a whole new ballgame. Now the dog is going to go crazy when I put this on. Hey, Sherry, thanks for joining because it's something new that I'm touching and the dog needs to touch everything I touch. So bear with me. Gizmo, stop. Sit. Stay. All right, he doesn't understand stay yet, guys. He understands sit, but not stay. Stop biting me. Okay, so I'm going to try this. Okay, so if you haven't heard of this before, it's what did I do with the box? Put it away. It is a personal fan, basically, air cooling system. And as you can see, it goes around your neck and it's got these 2 little fans on it. And it's like the cutest thing. The only thing I have to worry about is number 1, my dog. And number 2, my hair. Because, I have long hair and I don't want it to get stuck in here. But there's a control. And when I hit it, the dog is like freaking out, you guys. Oh my God. Stop. Okay. For a minute. All right. Let me find the on button here. It's on I just charged it. So it'd be all ready for you guys, but I can't find button for crying out loud. It's not hard. It's just I'm trying to keep the dog off as well as find the on button. Dog, please knock it off. Okay, I'm going to take it off to do it. So you guys look at Gizmo while I try and figure this out. Gizmo, stop it. Oh my gosh. Now, for crying out loud, I had it on twice yesterday. And it worked fine, and now I'm spacing the on button again. Gizmo. Anyways, while I'm working on this and trying to get my dog to leave it alone. Can't do it with you there, dog. There it is. Thank you. I found it. All right. So obviously you can't feel the air. I don't know if you can hear it. It gets pretty high. I'm going to show you by my hair. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. It feels so good, you guys. It's like, it's so awesome. Look at that. Kept me so cool yesterday, Nikki. I loved it. It was so cool. So she's right. It's a game changer if you got to be outside in this heat. Boy, I think she got it from Amazon. But it's so cool. I'm going to turn it off so it doesn't drive the dog crazy. But yeah, oh my God, it is so cool. And it's got a USB charger, so you just charge it up. And it lasted. I charged it today just because I wanted to make sure it was fully charged when I showed you guys. But it lasted all day yesterday when I had it. So that's really cool. Isn't that neat? I'd never heard of that before. I thought it was cool. And it's all adjustable. So this was the surprise package my sister sent, and I thought it was really cool. I got a kick out of it. Isn't that neat? Shopping with a mask on, yeah, this would definitely help because I don't know about you guys, but when I wear a mask, which is anytime I leave the house, it really is hot. It's just so hot. It's kind of stifling, isn't it? So that helps with that as well. So I wanted to share it because I thought it was the coolest thing. And she said it was a game changer, and it was. It definitely was yesterday. It made such a difference. All right. So thanks. Yeah, Gizmo is so cute. He is a puppy, and he is full of energy. Oh, my Lord. He was tearing through this room today like a tornado. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, where is all this energy coming from? Every day, it's like he gets more energy. He has a little doggy bed in his crate where he sleeps, and he chewed through that today too. He's just been a chewing machine yesterday and today. So I started drinking my coffee black finally. Oh, Victoria, I know that's a big change if you're not used to drinking it black. I personally don't drink coffee. I just never acquired a taste for it. But you guys know, you know me. I do my bangs, the 0 calories, but lots of caffeine. This is what I do. And, it gives me some flavor outside of just water. And again, it's no calories. So Love it, love it, love it. And there's so many different flavors. And I'll put the link down there. It's on all my videos so you guys can get it. Mm. So Nick said $22 on Amazon. This personal cooling system that she sent to me. It is the coolest thing, you guys. Totally adjustable. So no matter what size neck you have. And these are adjustable too. You can turn them. Isn't that cool? It's just the coolest thing. And then you plug it in up top here. There. It's very, very cool. So it's not, you don't have to really replace batteries. You just recharge it. Very, very cool. So if you have to be outside for any amount of time, or if, like she said, when you're shopping, link it through your page, Debbie, in case anyone wants one. Okay, I definitely will. Nikki, send me that link on Facebook, and I'll put it on the page. Well, you can just put it on Facebook, Nikki. So in case anybody wants it, and then give me the link, and I'll put it under my video. So in case anybody wants it, they can get it. It's very cool. She was absolutely right about it being a game changer. I couldn't believe the difference yesterday. Normally, by the time I get back to my car after delivering Postmates, I'm dripping. I'm just so hot. But yesterday it wasn't so bad. I stayed nice and cool. So I didn't mind the long walking around buildings to try and find the right number. Again, I'm forever amazed at how many apartments there are in Nevada. Okay, guys. So how did you do? Let me see some weigh-ins from you. She said, I bought it. Nick says, I bought a blend jet and now I'm doing protein smoothies in the morning. Great buy also. Oh, a little blender thing to make smoothies. That's a good idea, Nikki. We have to do that too at some point. OMAD Revolution Joe had talked about doing a celery drink every morning where he just uses his blender and makes just celery. You don't put he didn't put anything else in it. And apparently that's supposed to be really good for your system. But I don't have a blender, so there's that. Sherry gained a pound. Bummer, Sherry. That's okay. A pound isn't bad. What's a pound? That's water weight. That's nothing. Stop. It's so fine. Victoria gained this week too. Oh, guys, what are we doing? You know what I think it is? I really think a big part of our problem is, yeah, it's summer, but it doesn't feel like summer. This is by far not a normal summer. We don't get to do half the things that we would normally do in the summer. And I know that's a big problem for me. You guys know that the pool was open for a while there, Monday through Friday till 5 p.m. And then on Saturdays from 10 in the morning until 8 at night. But as of Thursday, I got a text telling me the pool is closed until further notice. They didn't say why. They didn't say nothing. They just said due to code enforcement, the pool is closed. So again, we have no pool, which is so annoying to me. That's my stress relief, but I don't know. Sherry's back at school this week, so OMAD will be easy. Well, that's good. Oh, they're actually opening the school. Sherry, you're going in to school, not doing remote. New challenge. Sherry and I are doing 20 pounds by 12-1. Everyone join. Yeah, Nikki posted that on Facebook. It's very cool. If you guys don't know, our Facebook page is We Will Do This Together, Debbie OMAD. Feel free to join. It's filled with great people. Very supportive. If you're looking for accountability, you find it there. If you're looking for motivation, if you're looking for just friends that are doing the same thing that you're doing, join us, please. When are we starting a new challenge, guys? Eileen, Nikki just said she posted 20 pounds by 12-1. So she's putting it out there, man. This is only August, Nikki. You're talking by December. That seems awfully long. Come on now. I'm determined I'm going to have a great week. I weigh in on Friday mornings. Okay. I'm a little nervous about wearing a mask all day. We'll see how it goes. Sherry, what I know that you're in a school, but is it elementary? Is it junior high? Is it high school? And are they bringing all the kids back, or is it like that hybrid where some days they're in school and some days they're remote? I love that group. Our group is so cool, you guys. We have such wonderful people. We really do. Just really, really, really kind-hearted, kind spirits, and I love that. So Sherry's in high school. Well, at least in high school, the kids are smart enough, to be told to keep the mask on, and they'll keep it on. I keep wondering about elementary schools and how. Not sure about how they're set up. I know here, like my grandson, it's so sad. He's supposed to start high school this year, 9th grade, which is such a milestone in somebody's life. And they're not opening the school. It's all going to be remote learning for the first semester at least. And I feel bad for him because, you guys remember back when starting high school and you felt so cool and, it was a big milestone for you. But he's not going to get to experience that. And it makes me sad. She's not sure how they're going to be set up. And Victoria's going to get active again. And, oh, Sherry's got to go. Being summoned. Okay. Bye, Sherry. Thanks for popping in. Love you. Good luck this week. And Nikki, I'm taking issue with your challenge. I'm taking issue with it. It just seems December is too far out. I think we need to push that up. Saw that after I asked the question. Thinking of going back to juicing for my OMAD. I've never done the juicing, so I can't really speak to that. But I know a lot of people do, and I know like OMAD Revolution Joe does, and apparently Nikki's doing some juicing, and a lot of people do, and they find it helpful. For me, I'm not a big veggie eater, so that would be something I should be doing. But again, I don't have a blender, so I'm not doing that. But I understand it. It's a real good thing. The only thing I worry about with the juicers is a lot of people juice fruit, and there's so much sugar. It's natural sugar, but it's still sugar, and so I don't think that's a great idea. Um, at least, okay. Again, my caveat: I'm not saying for everybody. For me, whether it's processed sugar or natural sugar, it still screws my body up. So I wouldn't do that. That's again just me. I can't speak for everybody else. But it has been just such a bizarro world. I mean, gosh, since this whole virus thing started and the quarantine, it's like every day it's just something different. And I don't understand it. And it's very scary. It is. And it's very stressful. And I think that that's impacting a lot of us when it comes to staying on OMAD or whatever healthy eating plan that you've adjusted for yourself. It's just tough. I've been screwed up for a few months. I've committed, so to speak. I'm excited to watch OMAD Revolution and a few others. I gotta get healthy. Victoria, I'm sure you know my story. And for those of you that don't, a year and a half ago, right before Christmas, I went and got a physical done, which is the first time I had done that in years because I was always afraid of the doctor. I'm always afraid. My mother used to say that if I go to the doctor, they're going to find something wrong, even if I don't feel bad. And I guess that kind of stuck in my head. And over the years, I kind of adopted that philosophy. But I was lethargic. I mean, so lethargic. I had no energy at all, none. And I just felt sick. Of course, my diet sucked, and I was drinking Pepsi like it was going out of style. But my diet had sucked, and I was drinking Pepsi like it was going out of style my entire life. So I knew that had taken a toll on my body. I was not one that ate healthy or took care of myself. I did yo-yo dieting for decades. I'd lose 20, gain 40, trying every diet known to mankind. But I finally went to the doctor, and I went with the premise in the back of my mind of knowing she was going to find something severely wrong because of the way I felt. Turns out she didn't find cancer or anything that scary, but she did find that my blood pressure was in what she called the stroke zone. And she basically told me in no uncertain terms that either I get my act together as far as my diet and my health, or I wouldn't be here on this planet by Easter. That I was a walking stroke waiting to happen. Talk about a wake up call, you guys. Huh. Yeah, that was a wake up call. That was like, holy cow, to have a doctor tell you that is, mm-mm, yeah, mind boggling. And because of that, I started researching. And because I know that, like I said, I yo-yo dieted forever. I had done every fad diet known to man. Even a few years back when fen was all the rage, I was taking that, which we know is so bad for your heart. So I did so much research trying to figure out there's got to be something that I can do that will actually work. Of course, my doctor said, cut down on sugar and, start working out and, the normal stuff that doctors will tell you to do when you need to lose weight. Again, I was 210 pounds at 5'3", or I'm sorry, 5'2". I'll give myself an extra inch there, 5'2". um, so I stumbled upon intermittent fasting. And when I say stumbled upon, I mean I was just searching for something that people say would work, and something I hadn't tried before. And at that point, I was looking for something um, that I could do on a long term basis. And what I started with was called 18-6. Actually, that's a lie. I started with 12 hours. 12 hours of not eating. So like I would skip dinner or skip breakfast, whichever one, so that I would go 12 hours without eating. And I found that wasn't really that hard. I mean, the first week it was hard, yes. But once I got the hang of it, it wasn't that hard. So then I bumped that up to 18 hours or 16 hours without eating. And then to 18. And then over the course of like, I don't know, I think maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks, I bumped it all the way up to OMAD, where is one meal a day, and fast for 24 hours. And it takes some adjustment. It's not something that you can jump right into because your body will freak out, and it does freak out. But I wasn't necessarily changing what I was eating. I just changed when I was eating, right? Now, fasting, for those that don't know, and most of you here do know, but fasting is not only for weight loss, you guys. It's not. It does so much more. It lowered my blood pressure to normal. Okay, normal. Um, it all of my numbers, my blood work, it all came back phenomenal. Whereas before, all my numbers were horrible. But my doctor was blown away, and she was all about fasting. Now, back then, a year and a half, which isn't that long ago, but it is when you think about how life has changed in this year and a half. But a year and a half ago, when I brought it to my doctor's attention that I was going to do this intermittent fasting, she was all for it. And she was one of the few doctors that was all for it. She's pretty progressive in her thinking. And she said she wishes that she could get more of her patients to do this. But for the most part, most people won't fast unless they have to, like for a test the next day or blood work or whatever. So she was very supportive about it. And so from there, I started doing more and more research, and I stumbled upon a whole bunch of studies. Not stumbled upon, I sought out a whole bunch of studies, and then I stumbled upon OMAD Revolution, Joe, and he and I have become friends over this year and a half. And I took a lot of his advice, and the first thing I did um, was cut out sugar. So I had to give up Pepsi. And then you may remember I went to caffeinated water, which was fine, but I just got so tired of water, which is why when my son introduced me to Bang, I switched to Bang because I needed the caffeine, but no sugar. Um, Sorry, let me see some of these comments. Oh my God, right. You have done great. I started around the same time you did. Oh, but been on and off. So needless to say, I'm pretty much the same weight. Um, I I lost one sibling this year, not going to lose two. So happy you're doing amazing and you're a great role model. Oh, thanks, Nikki. I ate too much with 18-6. That happens. I feel the best doing OMAD once I get used to it. I love it now. And that's the thing. Um, I find, because you guys know, you've watched me. I do OMAD as a general rule, but as you know, over the course of the year and a half, sometimes I fell off of that and I went back to like 18-6 or um, um, 16-8. And I always find that I have more energy and I feel better when I do OMAD. I just do. It is an adjustment. So anybody just starting, and Victoria, you know this because you've been on and off it, your body does need time to adjust to fasting. So if you've never fasted before, don't just jump into OMAD because you'll suffer. You'll suffer. You're going to go through detox. If you're cutting out sugar, if you're cutting out uh, carbs, anything that you're cutting out, it's definitely going to cause your body to have to adjust. So some people go through headaches, some people go through feeling nauseous, some people just get flu-like symptoms, similar to keto. When you first start keto, you get that keto flu, they call it. It's your body detoxing. So, and I didn't want to go through that. So that was part of the reason that I didn't necessarily change the foods I was eating right away. I was still eating carbs. I was still eating little bits of sugar, not like nothing high sugar, but a little sugar, because I didn't want to go through that keto flu or that the withdrawal symptoms. But I found through the course of trial and error that when I ate carbs, not only did I not lose, but I felt crappy. And I still do today. When I indulge on carbs, I feel awful. I just feel um, lethargic again. It drains me of energy. It just does. And even though it tastes so good, and sometimes I cave anyways, I know what it does to me, to my body, and it's not pretty. It's not pretty. I didn't necessarily eat too much with 18.6, but it was a fear of mine. But I took Joe from OMAD Revolution's suggestion with the one plate. So when you have like for OMAD, you have an OMAD meal, you use one dinner plate and whatever you can put on that plate, you keep it. You don't want to stack it up, just enough food on one plate. That's your meal. So I wasn't really focused in on calories back then when I first started that, because one of the beautiful things about OMAD is when you're first starting, and most people that are first starting have a lot of weight to lose. So when you're first starting and you have a lot of weight to lose, counting calories isn't really necessary, because just switching from eating 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day to one time a day, you will lose weight. Just you will, because you're cutting calories that way. But as you get closer to your goal weight, which I am much closer, calories matter. They do. They matter. So you need to pay attention to that and figure out where you're at in the journey, right? If you're just starting and you've got a ton of weight to lose, watching those calories isn't quite as important as when you're getting closer to your goal weight. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, those calories do matter. So you do need to pay more attention to that. Have you ever had issues with getting full and not finishing your meal? Yeah, not as often as I'd like, Victoria. There's a term that people call themselves foodies, that they love food. Well, I definitely love food. I do. My problem is I love food that's not good for you. um, there were times over the course of this process that I wouldn't finish my OMAD, that it was too much. And that's like when I would have like a steak and veggies and, that would, and nuts. I used to do nuts on the side too. And I used to do skinny pop popcorn. That was a lot for one meal, and I wouldn't be able to finish it. And that was kind of probably, I want to say, about when I was about 30 to 40 pounds down, that I noticed I would get full faster. It took a little while because your stomach's got to shrink, right? So it did take a little while, but I do find, and I'll say this 100%, and I know a lot of people that will say the same thing. So it may not be true for everybody, but it's true for a lot of people. If you're doing OMAD and you eat carbs, sugar, any sweets like that, the next day you will be way hungrier than you would have been had you not eaten that stuff. I think it's because your body's trying to get rid of it again, right? It's trying to detox it again, and your insulin level shoots so high when you eat that stuff. It takes that much longer for it to come back down. So I know, like, if I, like, for instance, yesterday, my daughter made spaghetti because that's what we had. And when we make a big pot of spaghetti, it'll last a few days. So she made spaghetti, and pasta, hello. So I ate it because that's what we had. But I knew while eating it that today was going to be that much harder for me to stay on OMAD, because my hunger level increases so much when I eat carbs. And it was true. I'm starving today. I'm starving. My stomach is eating itself. I'm so hungry. And it's my own fault. And I know it. It's because I ate carbs. I didn't eat a lot. In fact, I ate way less than I wanted, because I didn't want to break OMAD today. And I knew that I was going to be hungrier than normal. I thought I was going to be out doing Postmates all day today, though. So I thought, oh, well, I won't be home, so I won't be tempted to eat today. But that didn't work, so I'm home. But I haven't eaten yet, so I'm good. You notice that too, yeah. So when you cut back on the carbs and the sugar, your hunger levels decrease the next day. It's not as hard. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're fasting, you know hunger, okay? You feel it, hunger personally to your core, hunger. But there are levels to it, right? Some days it's worse than others. some days, I'll get a little hunger pain and I just kind of blow it off and it's fine. I don't worry about it. But like today, I really my system is going crazy. That I call it gremlin. It's not gremlin. It's gremlin. I'm going to say it wrong, but it's a hormone that gets secreted that actually causes hunger, right? And it goes crazy after I eat carbs. It just does. And if I indulge, I'll have a Pepsi, which I'll do if we eat fast food. But again, the next day I'm so much more hungry. So it's sometimes not worth it. But I find my biggest problem as of late is stress eating. I've always been a stress eater, and not just a stress eater, but an emotional eater, right? Whether I'm happy, if I'm happy, let's celebrate with food. I'm sad, oh, let me drown my sorrows in food. I'm stressed, oh, let me take my mind off it. I'm going to eat. That's been my whole life. I've always been that way. So, and these days, with what's happening with the world, as well as in my own personal life, as far as my financial situation, which is falling to pieces around me. My stress levels are like through the roof. And that's really making it that much harder to stay on OMAD because I feel that emotional eating thing is back full force. I thought I had conquered it for a while there, and I did. Because it really is mind over matter, right? We know that. We know it's mind over matter. But old habits die hard, you guys, and they come back. As soon as you fall off that wagon, they're back, boom, like that. So it's something that I know now that I'm going to have to fight my whole life. And that's just the reality. So that's why my weight has gone down and gone up a little bit and gone back down and then gone up a little bit and plateaued. Because I get stressed out and then I eat. My daughter came home from work the other day and she was so excited because she found out that they were considering her for another promotion. And she was just super excited. And the first thing she said, and I felt some guilt in here. I did. The first thing she says, "Oh, I wish we had extra money so we could go out to eat to celebrate." And isn't it? And my reaction to that was sadness because that's how I raised her. Right? That's how I was raised. That's how most of us were raised. Let's celebrate. Let's go out to dinner. Let's eat. And it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't. I mean, it is that way, though. It is. I mean, it is. You can't argue with it. And most people in my age group were raised that way as well. I'm all total, Victoria. All total, I've lost 82 pounds, but I've gained some of that back. Right now, like I said, I'm at 143. So I've gone back up a little bit just this past couple weeks. And again, it's because we're eating carbs and just every freaking day it's carbs. A baked potato is a meal and potatoes are cheap, but that's carbs. Spaghetti, it's cheap. It's easy to make and it's cheap and it lasts. But again, carbs. So that's been my problem here lately. Once we get our financial situation in order, I'll buy healthier food again, and then I'll get off the carbs. But yeah, I mean, in a year and a half's time, I've lost a lot of weight. I really have. It's just been this past couple of months where I'm really going up again, and I need to get that under control. But Nikki, again, December I think is too far out. I am begging you to change that. It's the middle of August, so why not go with like October 1st or even Halloween? Make Halloween your goal. Um, Rein it in just a little bit because I think that's too long. And 20 pounds, you can do 20 pounds to an OMAD. You can do that way before December. So give yourself a little bit of a challenge. It doesn't sound like you're really challenging yourself on that one. It's just my opinion. And if you don't change it, you don't change it, but that's my opinion. So Victoria, I don't know if you want to share this or not, but I'm going to ask the question: how much do you want to lose? How much? I mean, you don't have to give us the start and end if you don't want to, but how much weight are you trying to get rid of? Because that matters a lot. In as much as how this works is how much you have to lose. Because again, if you've got like 80 pounds, 100 pounds to lose, You don't have to be near as strict with what you're eating. But if you've only got like 20 pounds to lose, you really got to pay attention to what you're eating. You really, really do. Um, it matters. Like I said, and the exercise thing for a lot of us, because of this whole quarantine thing, we're not exercising the way we used to. We're not moving around. We're not being as physical. And for me, last summer I swam every single day of the summer, and into the fall. But this year, now the pool's closed again, so no swimming. So I'm not near as physically active as I was last year. Doing Postmates is helping because there is a lot of walking involved in that I didn't expect, but it's still not near as much as what I was doing. And that's, of course, slowing my progress down as well. The closer you get to your goal weight, the more working out you need to do, the more physical activity you need to do and exercise. And I hate sweating. So, so working out is a challenge for me. And also because of my age, I'm afraid of hurting myself. I'm always afraid of hurting myself because it takes so much longer to heal nowadays than it did when I was, 25 or 30. So that has kind of turned me off of working out outside of the pool because in the pool it's no impact and I don't worry about hurting myself. 60 to 80, I'm 5'1", I weigh 255 years old. Oh man, Victoria, you're where I'm at. Have you been to the doctor lately? I bet your blood pressure is through the roof, girl. Oh man. Yeah, you're real close to where I was a year and a half ago, and it sucks. It sucks. I don't know about you, but I was so tired all the time. I mean, I felt like I was 80 years old and I was 56 at the time. But I did. I felt like I was 80. I had no energy, and your feet hurt really bad because your body's carrying so much more weight than what it's supposed to. But I worry about your blood pressure, because your numbers are very similar to mine when I started. And the reason, like I said, my why, and I talk about this all the time, you guys, my why was not only to just stay alive, but it was to be able to stay alive in a healthy way and be able to take care of myself. Um, we've talked about this so many times, but I am definitely going to say it here again. A why is what's your motivation? Why do you want to lose weight? What is your why? What is that deep down to your core reason for doing this? Why are you doing this? And for some people, it's for health. For some people, it's just vanity. For other people, it's because somebody else wants them to do it. The problem is your why has to be strong enough to stop you when you're going to eat something you shouldn't. And it's never going to work 100% of the time. I'm proof of that. It's never going to work 100% of the time, but it should work about 80% of the time. And that's enough. That's enough. If your why is strong enough to work 80% of the time, you will lose weight. You will. You absolutely will. I speak from my own experience. Um, so my biggest fear in life, because I'm a bit of a control freak, is that my children wanted to take care of me because I'm single. I'm not married. And I was headed down a path where I wouldn't have been able to take care of myself for very long. And that's like my worst nightmare. I don't want, not that my kids wouldn't take care of me because I know they would, but I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person. So my why was not only to be healthy, and to live longer, but to live longer in such a way that I could take care of myself for as long as possible. And that is a deep to the core of who I am. Right. Um, yeah, you feel awful. I worry a lot about not being here for my kids and grandkids. I'm telling you, Victoria, there is no stronger why. There just isn't. I mean, and here's what I have found or what I have seen from others. You this why that we're talking about right now that I have that you have is so strong. It's so strong. You can't get a stronger why than staying alive, right? I mean, that's enormous why. But this is what people do. They get this enormously strong why, and then they put it out of their minds because if they think about it, it scares them. And it's scary. And I don't want to think about that. And they just go on living the way they're living. Part of having a why is to keep it up front in your head. Keep it there. Let it scare you. Let it scare the hell out of you because that's what you need to make a change. Okay. You're not going to make a change if you have this why just floating in the back of your head and you're not putting it as a priority. You're not keeping it at the forefront of your head. And that's easy to do, you guys. I've done it myself. I have done it myself. Just about every time I splurge, I kind of push that why behind me. Like, I don't want to think about that right now. I just want to deal with the moment. But as I sit here in front of this camera, and I feel like I'm in front of this camera all the time because time goes by so flipping fast. I mean, I feel like yesterday I did last week's video, and it's been a week. Time goes by so fast. If we can, and I know I sound like I'm preaching to you guys, but I'm more preaching to myself. And if it helps you, that's great. But this is more for me than you. Um, if we can realize how fast time goes on those moments when we are getting ready to eat that cupcake or eat that donut or yeah, it does. I mean, it's just so fast. It goes so fast. But if we can remember how fast it goes, that fleeting moment when we're about to break our fast or eat something we shouldn't, in that moment, if we can remember how fast time goes, maybe that can help us to not indulge, right? And I did that the other day, actually. Um, I was actually I was doing Postmates yesterday. Okay, yesterday is a good example. When I was doing Postmates, and this one of my orders was at this bakery, and they had ordered a birthday cake and some other stuff and some donuts. And I walked in, and they were doing free samples of this new kind of donut they were selling. And I mean, it was free, guys. It was free, and it was a good chunk too. It wasn't just a little tiny piece. It was a good chunk, and I was starving, and I'm picking up food and delivering it all day. So I'm smelling food all day. My car smells like food, but I kept telling myself, no, no, no. And then I go into this bakery, and they, luckily I don't have any money, so it's not like I could buy anything when I go into these places to pick up these orders, right? So that's a good thing. But um, I go into this bakery to pick up this order, and I'll answer that in 1 second, Victoria. And they're doing free samples of this new kind of donut that just looked delicious. It was like chocolate on chocolate on chocolate. It was like, it's like the angels were singing to me, "This is for you." And it was so hard for me to not grab one, but I didn't. And the only reason I didn't, and I'm not bragging that I didn't, because it was so hard not to grab that. It was so hard. But the thing that stopped me was remembering how fast time goes. So yes, I'm hungry right now, but I was only at like 18 hours, maybe 19 hours of fasting. And of course, this is nothing but sugar, and carbs and just nastiness. And I told myself, this too shall pass. All I gotta do is take this order and walk out, and I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Because time goes so fast before I know it. I won't even think about this donut. Of course, I'm still thinking about this donut. but I didn't do it. And part of the reason I didn't do it is remembering not only my why, which is huge, because you have your why, but you got to remember it and put it up front, and also how fast time goes by. So to back up a minute, Victoria is asking, what is Postmates? It's Mates, Mates, and what it's like Grubhub or Uber Eats, where people will order food and then I go pick it up and deliver it to them. And the problem that I have right now, and many of us that do this have right now, is because of the virus and the quarantine and everything, people can go online or go on their phones and place an order, and then they can click no contact, meaning when you drop it off, you just put it in front of their door and take a picture that you did it, and you leave. So they don't see you. So unlike before this virus thing, when you delivered on these programs, somebody would come to the door, you would hand them the food, and they would see a human being was delivering their food, and they would tip you. Well, now with this no contact situation, you just pick up the food from the restaurant or wherever and then drop it in front of their door and leave. So they never interact with a person. There's no people. It's all through their phone. And so as a result of that, they don't tip. So I thought when my hours got cut so bad and financially we started struggling, I thought I would do Postmates and try and make some extra money to try and help us. But it's not working out that way. Like the last time I did Postmates, I was out for, I want to say 5 hours, 6 hours, picking up orders and delivering them. And I made $40 for the whole day because nobody tipped. Every single order was a no contact, meaning just set it outside the door. And, and I'm convinced the reason for this is because they don't see any people. And it doesn't click in their head that somebody went and picked that up and an actual human being drove to your house and put it in front of your door. And in most cases, wandered around an apartment complex for 20 minutes trying to find your door. So it's really not as helpful as I had hoped it was going to be for that reason. And I'm sure that that is the reason, because when you don't have to interact with anybody, tipping doesn't apparently pop into your mind. So for any of you that use Postmates or Uber Eats or Grubhub or any of those, tip your people, tip them. I'm just saying, because it's really frustrating to use a half a tank of gas and 5 hours of my day and get $40. And I got to put 20 in the tank. So really, $20. Certainly not helping to pay the bills. So yeah, that's part of my stress levels these days is I'm just not getting the hours, and the things I'm trying to make money to try and pay bills, it's just not happening. But when, like I said, my daughter is up for a promotion, so hopefully that's going to go through within the next month or two, and that'll be quite an increase for her. And I just keep praying that these 3 part-time jobs that I have on the computer will pick up in hours. So that's my hopes, and I continue to look for something full-time, but there's just not a lot out there. So okay, so that's my story. So again, let's try to keep in our heads how quickly time goes. So yes, I'm starving right now. My stomach is eating itself, but I know when I blink my eye, it's going to be tomorrow. It just is, because that's how fast time goes. So if I can just get through this, if I can just pretend this doesn't exist, if I can do mind over matter here and realize that this is just a fleeting moment in time and it's going to be gone in a heartbeat, that maybe that'll help us to stay on track. So just a little pointer from me to you. When you go to break your fast or to eat something you shouldn't eat, think about that for a minute. Just how quickly time goes, and how much regret you're going to have. And this was something that went through my mind yesterday with this donut. How much regret I'm going to feel if I ate that donut the next day, right? Or even that day, but the next day when time went by so fast and, oh my gosh, why did I do that? Why did I cave? And then you start feeling bad about yourself, like you have no willpower, you have no strength, you're a bad person. And this whole guilt trip thing starts going on, right? And I know I'm not the only one that has that anytime I go off my OMAD or I eat something I shouldn't. The guilt is just boom, there. So I don't want anybody to feel that, because it's a horrible feeling. It really is. It's a horrible feeling. And go ahead, admit if you've had that feeling. Come on, admit. Type it in there, because I know I'm not alone. When you eat something you know you shouldn't, and as good as it tastes, you feel guilty because you knew you shouldn't have done it. So not only did you add this garbage to your body that your body didn't want or need, but then you have to deal with the emotional guilt part of it, which lasts way longer than the good taste of whatever the item is. So these are just things that maybe if they pop in your head when you're thinking about eating something you shouldn't or breaking your fast, that maybe it'll help stop you. I know that these things have helped me time and time again. Again, I have not been perfect at this, you guys. If I was perfect at this, I would weigh 120 right now, and I don't. I weigh 143. So, I mean, I'm close, but I should have already been at my goal weight and in maintenance by now. I should have by all rights, but I'm not because I'm not perfect. Okay, because I fail and I cave and I screw up just like everybody else does. I don't want anybody to think that, oh my gosh, I'm just so good at this and look at me, because no, not true, not true at all. Hey, Regina, thanks for joining us. Um, this has been very encouraging. Things. Oh, thanks, Victoria. I hope it has. I can't get through a video without talking about our whys. And I've talked to a few people over the course of the last couple of weeks that have confirmed for me that as strong as your why is, it we don't like that feeling. We don't like that fear. So we kind of bury it, and we can't do that. We've got to face that fear, and we've got to put that in front of us. So for me, I want to stay alive and I want to stay healthy. So when I go to cave, I have to stop and I have to let that why come out. I have to bring it back to the forefront of my mind. And I have to think about how fast time goes, and how in this moment, in this very moment, although I'm starving, although that whatever it is looks so great, this moment's going to pass, and it's going to pass quick. And I just have to let it pass. That's all. So that's the cool thing about fasting, right? Is you're not, it's the one weight control option where you do nothing. Where you don't have to do anything. You do nothing. You don't eat. You don't eat. And I love that about it, because I didn't like paying my food. I didn't like only being able to eat this or that, and watching every portion, and counting grams. I hate that. I hate that. Or ordering food and Nutrisystem, or those where you order food. Like, I know I'm not going to eat that food the rest of my life. It's not that good. Okay, I mean, it's all right. Don't get me wrong. And I've done Nutrisystem, but I know that I can't justify ordering that food for the rest of my life. So it didn't make any sense. So this is the one thing that easy to do. You just don't eat. You just don't eat until you're supposed to. You know what I mean? So, of all of the many ways on this planet to lose weight, this is seriously the most attainable, the most achievable, the most user friendly. Um, and for those of you that have spent your lives yo-yo dieting like I have, this works, man. Because so like I said, I'm not perfect. I've fallen off the wagon so many times, and I've cheated, and I've eaten the wrong foods. But the beautiful thing is, when you get up in the morning, you tell yourself, okay, today I'm gonna be good, and you get that fresh start. You don't cave one day and go, oh, forget it, I'm done, I can't do it, and then gain all your weight back. You don't have to do that. You just have to get up in the morning and start again, and do what you need to do. And remember, the time's going to fly. Time's going to go. It goes. We can't control it. It goes so fast. I mean, my mind is daily blown at how fast time. We've been out here a year and 3 months already. How did that happen? Feels like we just moved here. But no, we've been out here in Nevada for a year, and we got here in last June, a year ago June. So a year and 2 months. What? Feels like we just got here. I mean, time just goes just like this. The only thing that has worked long term for me. I'm telling you, Regina, me too, so far. More than anything I've ever done, and more satisfying. And when you get through your day and you do just OMAD and you eat a regular portion of a meal, you do feel this sense of accomplishment. Like, see, I can do this. I did this. I can do this. And it does give you a good feeling. Unlike when you're, traditional dieting and having to, your portions, and then you come away feeling not satisfied, and you come away feeling like, God, I'm still hungry. And you know what I mean? This is so different than that. It's so different. And there is no reason to yo-yo, because the minute the scale starts going up, you realize, okay, all right, let me go back to some fasting. Let me get this down again. So for me, although I feel like I'm starting to yo-yo a little bit, because the scale went up, and like I said, I'm up at 143, and I had gotten down to the 130s. So I feel like I've let things spiral a little bit. But again, a lot of that, and Sounds like an excuse, doesn't it? And I hate that. I don't like excuses, but the reality is, shoot, money's tight. Money's like insane tight. Like, oh my God. And we can't afford much. So what we're buying isn't necessarily healthy. And I think that's why I'm not losing. Um, so what I need to do is go back to alternate day fasting or do 48s or 72s. But my stress levels haven't allowed me to do that. And that's something I'm fighting with right now. And I know every one of you, I know every single person here right now or that will watch this later is feeling some kind of stress. The way this world is and society and everything, it's impossible not to feel some kind of stress right now. So I know I'm not alone in this boat at all, and I'm not trying to do a pity party, because we can still do this. I mean, you don't need money to do this, right? Because you're not eating. You do need money to buy some decent food, but we'll get there. But what I need to do is to do some 48s and 72s. So then when I eat that crappy food, at least I'm still losing weight. And I know I need to do that. So maybe that's my goal for this week is to do some alternate days. Um, and it shouldn't be that hard to do. I've done it before. I've done alternate day a few times over the course of the last year and a half. And I find once I get past like 36 hours, 36 to 40 hours, I'm fine and I can keep going. But it's getting past that because then the mind kicks in and it's like, oh, it's been a long time since I ate. And those old programming from before, like, oh, you need to eat 3 meals a day. Those things come back, the things that we learned growing up. And they're hard to combat. They're very hard to combat. But we can do it. We can do it. Victoria, keep an eye on you because I know you can do this. And I find it kind of ironic that you're real close to the same numbers I was when I started this. And girl, I am telling you what, and I know people say this all the time, and I know when they say it, they mean it. But I can do this. Anybody can do this. I have no willpower, you guys. I still smoke. Are you kidding me? I mean, I have no willpower. I really don't. And if I've been able to go from 210 to 143, seriously, if I can do that, you can do it. I promise you that. I have 100% faith in you, Debbie. Give it time. Oh, I know I'll get back down to my goal. I know that I will. It's just taking longer than I had wanted it to. I mean, I fully expected that by my birthday this year, which was in July, that I would be at my goal weight and I would be in maintenance. And I didn't make it. And with everything that's going on, it's not helping. It's not helping. But we're going to do it. We all can do this. And that's why we created this, I created these videos and we created this Facebook group that actually, if I don't know if you guys know that story, that the Facebook group came from Nikki. My sister actually said, Debbie, you need a Facebook group. And I was just like, really, you think? Do you think people would even go on it? And she kind of talked me into it. And now I'm really, really glad that we did it because although it's not a huge group, I mean, there's not thousands of people on it. I kind of like that because it can stay kind of personal and we can actually keep track of each other. And Victoria, I'm going to start keeping track of you. So, and my best friend Debbie, who's not here today, but who watches these videos and is on the group, I saw some pictures of her. She lives in Michigan, so I could see her. But I saw some pictures of her that she went to a wedding this past weekend, and she is really looking good, you guys. She's lost some weight, and you can really tell. You can really see it. So she had asked us to give her some accountability. So I'm calling you out, girl. You need to post in the group and let me know where you're at. Feeling really good about this. Helps with the support of your channel and Facebook page. Oh, thanks so much. And that's it, you guys. Go to the Facebook page. We will do this together, Debbie OMAD, on Facebook. And if you're struggling, if you're facing, challenges, put them in there because you're not alone. You are not alone. And I find for myself, I find when I go to that page, I get renewed motivation. Um, just reading everybody else's stories and their accomplishments, their wins, as well as their challenges, it does help to motivate you. It really, really does. I mean, I know it helps me. Lord knows I need as much motivation as anybody else. I do, and accountability. And I use that Facebook group and these videos as accountability for myself as well. Um, Lord knows what I would weigh if I didn't have this accountability. Because that does stop me sometimes too, is I'll think, oh no, I got to do a video, and I got to tell my weight. So I got to be careful. So I mean, that has been a motivating factor for me. We've been on here over an hour. I'm going to wrap it up. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. Join us on Facebook, Debbie OMAD. We will do this together. And post your results either on Facebook or on YouTube or on both. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see more comments on these videos after the fact, especially the lives. It seems like, we have the conversations, but once the video is posted, there's not a lot of comments after the fact on the video itself. So I would love to see more comments of how everybody else is doing and your weigh in for the week. And I realize that everybody weighs in on Sundays, but most of us weigh in once a week. So whichever day it is, post it. Again, like, thumbs up button, subscribe, share these videos if you think you have friends or family that would benefit. We definitely want to help as many people as we can. And feeling like you have a community and you have people that give a darn and people who are going through the same struggles as you are can be such a motivating factor. It really can. And it can help people. So if you have friends or family that are struggling, share these videos, share the Facebook group. Let them know that we're here and we want to help. Okay. Thank you for your time, and I'll watch it from the beginning. Okay, Regina. Thanks, guys, for being here. I appreciate it so much. Victoria, I'm watching for your posts. Okay. I want to know how you're doing. Keep it in your head how fast time goes, you guys. Please. That is such a big factor for me. Remembering how fast time goes. And even though in this moment I feel weak and I feel like I need to indulge, I know it's going to pass. And I know it's not going to be, it won't last. Or I know it, I'll be looking back at that going, I did it. I did it. So keep it there. Keep that in your head. Okay. You guys, we can do this. We can do this. I know we can. We're all going to have a phenomenal week. We are. All right, guys. Love you so much. Mwah. Emily, thanks so much. And we'll see you next week. And I'll try and post on Facebook between now and then. Let me see. Remember, we are in this together. We will do this together. Love you guys. End it. There we go.